Marketing essentials for managers. Um, Today we are going to talk about learning outcome 3, which is be able to develop strategies for implementing marketing mix proposals. So let's look at what are the key areas we are going to discuss under this particular topic. Number 1, 3.1, we are going to look at resource required to implement a marketing mix proposal. Under 3.2, we are going to look at branding. Use marketing tools to inform the approach to branding in a marketing mix proposal. 3.3, we are going to look at strategy to implement marketing mix proposal. Let's move on. Well, identify the resource required to implement a marketing mix proposal. Here I have identified 3 main resources which are required to implement a marketing mix proposal. You know what is marketing mix? That is product, price, place, and promotion. So, in order to introduce a product or in order to introduce a new promotion campaign, you require the expertise. Here I have given an example. Let's assume you want to introduce an internet marketing campaign for a new product. So you need expertise on search engine optimizers. You need expertise on people who can create bloggers and who are expertise on the social media campaigns. When you want this expertise, you can't have free of charge. You need to have budget. Also, thirdly, or the third most important point is time plan. You need to know when to introduce which marketing activity. So you need to plan it out according to the time. Right. Here I have taken an example over here, which is the product. As you can see, it's a very set to go product. This is the link. Let's say innocentdrinks.co.uk. This is the product which I would like to think. Now, what are the resources required to implement this particular point? Particularly about the promotions. Think about promotions. What are the resources required? You require the expertise on people who can design the brand logos, people who can design the packaging. You need expertise on social media campaigns. You need expertise on writing these contents. Okay. And in order to do that one, you need to have budget. You need to have timeline as well. Well, how to design or how to set a budget? This is a critical point if you're working in an organization designing a budget for a new product or new promotion campaign. Easiest would be looking at how much money we have spent last year for similar promotions, similar product. So you can look at that cost and design the future promotional budget. Or look at your competitor. How much he has spent? What are the areas he has been spending on? So match the competition. Or third most common one is percentage sales method. Let's assume you're planning to do 100 million pound sales, and you might think, let me give 1% of my sales forecasted amount for the promotions. So I'm going to allocate 1 million budget. Okay. So I have given 5 different budget setting areas which you can go through. Time plan. The next important resource is time plan. Most of the managers are getting wrong over here. Let's try to do together. Time plan is about, I will take activities in this side and I will take activities in this side and time in this line. Let's say the first activity, design a packaging. I'm planning to design the packaging in January, February, March, 3 months. Then I'm going to run a social media campaign, that is April, May, June. I'm going to run newspaper advertisements in July, August, September. So this is a simple time plan activity which you can develop for the promotional activity. So these are the main three areas which you need to look at under resource requirement. Let's go into 3.2, which is something very important for a marketing manager, which is a branding. So my biggest question is, what is branding? So let's go on definitions of some branding. Archer, a famous author on brand management, says a brand is a distinguishing name. Yes. You remember, I'm not a good artist. You remember the brand. You remember the brand. So a brand is a distinguishing name or symbol intended to identify goods or service of one seller from those of a competitor. That is what we call branding. Kepferer, another author, has said a brand is a long-term engagement, a commitment to a set values for a product. So customer commits to a product. So customer does not move from one brand to another. Okay. Brand as vision. Steve Jobs says, look at a brand as a vision. You're not going to look at brand as something you're trying to sell it today and forget next day morning. But you're trying to keep on building. You're trying to consider a brand as a child. So characteristics of brand. There are three characteristics of brand. A brand should have emotional attachments. A brand should have a functions. If I purchase a mobile phone, I would be expecting a good coverage. I would be expecting a good touchscreen one. These are the functional requirements. Emotional requirements. Yes, of course, I would love to show my brand. I would like to associate my brand with other people emotionally. Promise brand. If there's any problem, how far they are sorting the problem out. Are they promising? Are they loyal? Virgin says it takes time to build a brand. So I would be expecting you to go through these slides again. McDonald's, you remember, why do we pay more for branded goods than unbranded goods? This is for you to think. I have taken two brands over here. You need to think why we pay more for certain brands and certain, not the other brands. Now, in order to develop your brand, first of all, you need to look at your product. Then you need to say how to build a brand. So in order to build a brand, first of all, you need to look at what is the value I'm going to give it to the customer. So is my design significant than the other product? Is my packaging superior? What about my quality? What about my brand name? Is it something different? What are the features of this brand? So all these factors will contribute to create a strong brand name, and all these intangible features also important, such as after sales services. After customer purchase a brand, what after sales services a company provides? What are the warranties that they provide? Toyota gives 5-year warranty. I would love to buy. Look at these two brands. Look at the packaging. You can recognize the brand by looking at the packaging. So create a strategy for implementing a marketing mix proposal. Third one is create a strategy. This should be 3.3. Now we are going to look at what is a strategy. This should be 3.3. What is strategy? What are the marketing mix strategies are? Then we are going to look at Ansoff matrix as well as BCG matrix. This is one of a strategy that is used by many companies in order to create the brand or in order to improve the sales. The first one is a market penetration. Market penetration is about you have a product, you have not modified your product, you're trying to sell it as much as possible. Sell it as much as possible. That is what we call market penetration. So in order to penetrate the market, you can advertise, you can reduce the price. Those are the market penetration strategies. Or you have a product which is a market development. You have a product, but you might think, why not to look at a different market for that product? For example, Johnson & Johnson's baby cream. The existing market is for babies, but they thought, why not to market Johnson & Johnson baby product for mothers as well? So that's the new market. So you have not changed the product, but you have looked at a new market. So Ansoff matrix is one of a strategy that a company could use to improve the business. So there are 4 key areas under Ansoff matrix. There are some examples I have given over here for you to go through. Excelling at positioning. What is positioning means? What is market positioning? Market positioning is about what you do to the mind of a consumer. What exactly a consumer wants to know about your brand? What do you want your consumer to remember? That's what we call market positioning. Premium positioning. Normal coffee, premium positioning. So company has done quite a lot of work to position their brand as premium brand in the mind of consumer. Another good example. Okay. There are some areas which are not okay. Let's review the areas what we discussed today. We covered learning outcome 3. Learning outcome 3 has 3 key important areas. The first one is identify the resource required to implement a marketing mix proposal. Second point is use marketing tools to inform the approach to branding in marketing mix proposal. Create a strategy for implementing a marketing mix proposal. I would be expecting you to write 200 words each on this question, and I'm expecting you to choose a specific product and tell us what are the resources required for that particular product when it comes to promotions, when it comes to pricing, when it comes to product. And I would be expecting you to talk about branding. What exact branding do you suggesting for that particular product? And finally, I would be expecting you to suggest strategies for implementing a marketing mix proposal. What are the strategy you can suggest to implement marketing mix proposal? Think about Ansoff matrix. So with that, I'll stop for now.